So I am going to lay the blame fully at the feet of Slandered Gaming for prompting me to come play Neverwinter Nights 2 Enhanced Edition. I knew this had released like about a week ago, but I'm super busy with all sorts of different things. And as much love as I have for this game and as much fun as I had playing it 20 years ago, I don't have time to play it. And yet, and yet, I went ahead and picked it up this morning and jumped in for a little bit tonight. I'll play some more tomorrow for sure, but I wanted to give my early thoughts on it because this is obviously the Enhanced Edition. We have played the Enhanced Editions of Baldur's Gate 1, Baldur's Gate 2, Icewind Dale 1. They don't have the Icewind Dale 2 stuff. I didn't really like the first Neverwinter Nights game, but I did love Neverwinter Nights 2 when it originally came out. This was one of the first big projects that Obsidian Entertainment worked on years ago. So the base game is from them. The Enhanced Edition was handled by Aspyr. And you can get this now across pretty much every platform. I believe it's out on like the Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, PC. I got the PS5 version of the game because why not? I played it on PC years and years and years ago, and I wanted to jump in and play it on the console. So, if you have never played this game before, here's a few things you need to know, which I'll talk about while we're sitting here on this screen. This is old school Dungeons and Dragons, but this is whereas the Icewind Dale, the Baldur's Gate and the Icewind Dale games were, I think, a second edition, like 2.5 edition AD&D, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. This is 3.5 edition, so this is when they first moved to 3.5. This 3.5 is what Pathfinder was based off of, so if you love the Pathfinder system, you're going to find yourself in familiar territory, even if you've never necessarily played this version of Dungeons & Dragons before. This is not a... the Enhanced Edition is a hybrid of, like, you can either choose to do the top-down view, or you can do free mode and play it like a traditional party-based action RPG, but all the dice rolls are still there. In combat, you can choose. I haven't played around with the options a whole lot, so I think it's real time with pause is the way this works. So it's not a turn-based game. I'll jump in here in a minute and we'll take a look at what it actually looks like. The caveat here is that even though this is an enhanced edition of the game, you're also dealing with 20-year-old graphics, so your expectations graphically should be adjusted accordingly. This is not the Oblivion remaster where they came in and did a whole new reskin of the game in Unreal 5. This is very much, it looks like a 20-year-old game. It plays like a 20-year-old game. But I would argue that if you love deep, story-based, role-play driven RPGs, this is up there with one of the classics, of that era. And it is a really deep game. It has a ton of DLCs, all of which are included in this. And if you're looking for something to sink, a couple hundred hours to over the summer of 2025, you could do worse than Neverwinter Nights 2, the Enhanced Edition. So, right away, you've got multiplayer. If you want to play it with friends, you could do up to 4 party members. So a total of 4 people can play together. Or you can play by yourself and have up to 4 people in your party. I have a character that I've already gone through, but I do want to log in here really quick and just show you guys, you have your choice of doing Neverwinter Nights 2, the base campaign, or any of the DLCs. I don't remember really any of these. It's been so long ago, and I haven't played the game since it originally. I played it when it came out, and then I remember I bought like the silver boxed version, which was a few years after it launched. But I haven't touched this since. It's got to be since like 2000. I don't know, 2008 maybe. It's been a long time. Oh yeah. You can create a character, or you can select a character. If you go in here, you can select from a bunch of pre-made characters, all of which have various things already set out for you. So however you want to do this. You can also create a character from scratch, and this is where you can go through and see all of the 3.5 edition D&D in all of its glory. If you have only ever played 5th edition D&D, this is going to feel really, really foreign to you, even though some of it might be familiar. 3.5 was a completely different beast. Again, Pathfinder is the evolution of 3.5, whereas 5th edition went a completely different direction in simplifying these rules to create it, a more easily approachable system. 5th edition is fine. That's the system my wife learned. She loves it. I think it's a great system for players who want something a little less complex. 3.5 is not a streamlined system. 3.5 is an extremely complex system. And there's a lot of differences here. Most important of which is the fact that it's a return to pros and cons with the racial stereotypes. So the races have pros and cons like plus con minus dex, plus dex minus strength, things of that nature. So there's lots of decisions to make here with the races, the sub races, all sorts of different classes. You could do mix and matching and of the classes if you want. There's a lot of options here, and if you're brand new to things, if you go through here and just say I'm going to pick recommended and then go next and recommended next, next is it defaults to fighter, which I think is brilliant for new players. We can do recommended. It's going to adjust your stats for you. Recommended. I'm just going to keep doing recommended because I wanted to take you to something to this page. This is where we get to. It has these default. You could do default fighter, a finesse fighter, a defender, gladiator. These just basically configure your skills and feats so that you don't have to. Or you can go in here and customize and really dive into where do you want all of your stuff. You could spend several hours in this content creator if you really want to take the time to create and fine tune every single aspect of your character. Otherwise, you could just jump in. We're going to go ahead and back out all the way from this and go back to my other character so that I can get you into the game and show you a couple of things. Now, my character is at a point, might see a little bit of spoilers. So if you haven't played the game yet, just be aware that there are some tiny spoilers here. I have assembled a party of 2 other characters. We have a fighter and a mage, and then my character right here is an elven druid. The controls I feel are pretty well done. The cool thing is you can go between this is the mode where it's like an old party based, run around, third person, over the shoulder RPG style, right? Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. But you can also, if you want to, go in and play it as a, click and move your character around sort of thing. So if you want to do it this way and play it like the old school version of the game that originally came out, this is how you would play it. You could pull the camera out. I know some people like to play it this way. I've been playing it this way just to experience it this way because I think it's been pretty interesting. But ultimately, I think we might go back to this just because this was kind of like more of the classic way that the game is played. But you have a little more control over the camera, move things around a little bit, go from here for those of you who want to play it this way. Casting reminds me a lot of the way Rogue Trader casts. You hit the triangle and it gets you up into the hotbar, and from here you can look at your skill sets and cast things that you want to cast. We've got various spells we can do. Go through here. And then there's all sorts of craziness that you can get into here. You can go look at your character itself, all the inventory stuff. You have all of your skills, feats, behavior stuff. And this is what I haven't gone in here and tweaked yet. I haven't gone in here and tweaked a bunch of this stuff yet, where they have open locks. So you could tell each individual character, don't attempt to open a locked object if the party leader fails. So this would be something where if I'm not a thief, but I have a character in my party who is a thief, I would want that to be on so that that character automatically goes and tries to open locks if I fail. So there's all these different behavior things that you can tweak for the characters, and you can apply this to the whole party if you want to. So if you want to dive in here and really play around with things, all this is in here. And then I know there are, if you go in here, well, first and foremost, you can hit pause and pause the game anytime you want to. There's, going through here and detecting, stealthing, defensive casting, all this stuff. And then we can go in here to the options, and there's all sorts of things that you can do if you want to tweak things. What I haven't done in here though is looked for things like, like I said, I don't think there is. This is something where I'm probably going to turn this on as a personal preference. And what that's going to do is it's going to auto pause the game when I open the quick cast panel, which is going to add an element of turn-based gameplay to it. What do I mean by that? Well, if I go back in here to the camera, we're running around and I open up the quick cast, it immediately pauses the game while I select spells. Now, it might not seem like a big deal when I'm on his character, but if I go to, say, the actual wizard and I go in here and quick cast, now it's going to slow the game down and allow me to go in here and actually control what I'm doing and have better control over the spell casting and be able to then properly move everything around without feeling overwhelmed by the game continuing to play, if that makes sense. So this adds that element of turn-based without it being actually turn-based. So it's cool that you can go in here and tweak those things, cast a spell, now you're back to normal, whichever mode you want to play in from there.
Yes.
I'm genuinely impressed with the console version. Like, it's pretty seamless. I've enjoyed it. I've gotten right in and been able to figure it out. And I have been playing, for the most part, I have been enjoying playing it just this way, like over the shoulder, run around and do things. It did take some getting used to because there's no way to adjust the spin. It's just based on how much pressure you're applying to the right thumbstick when you turn. And so I had to get used to being very light on the touch because otherwise it's like, whee, whirl till you hurl. But again, for a trip down memory lane, it's been, like I said, I'm in the early stages. I only played for an hour and a half tonight, but I wanted to get my early thoughts out because it was like, I have fond memories of this game, and I think that since it's out right now, it's fairly inexpensive. I paid $30, I think, on the PS5. I know my local price on GOG, if I wanted to play it on PC, was like $18. So I think it just depends on where you want to play. I think $30 is the base price, and then there's like localized pricing through like Steam and GOG and stuff. So it's out on all the consoles, like I said, PS5, Xbox, Switch, PC, wherever you want to play it. I personally, it is old and it's dated. This is the enhanced edition. For a lot of people, it's going to be nostalgic, but if you've never played this game and you're looking for something that has some meat on its bones and you're like in between releases, you should honestly give this a shot. It is a very good game. There are a lot of fun quests in here. You get a keep that you can manage, and it's just a solid Dungeons and Dragons Forgotten Realms experience. So if you like that kind of stuff, give it a shot. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I'd love to see you guys at the next stream. We start every single morning around 4:35 a.m. Central. I don't currently plan to do a full playthrough of this unless the turnouts for the streams are like mind-blowingly huge, because I do have a busy schedule of other things that we already have on the table. But I am going to be doing a little bit of nostalgia playing over the next few days, and probably some guides and thoughts videos, etc. Throughout the rest of July as we lead up to the end of the month, because then we have like things like Grounded 2 and Tales of the Shire. We're currently playing Destiny 2, Death Stranding 2, Dune Awakening. There's a lot of things going on, so this is just one more thing I'm throwing in there to say, woo, let's do it. Just as Chit would say, do it, lady, do it.